Assalamu alaikum, welcome to my first masjid tutorial for the DIY mosaic coasters. These are brilliant to gift to loved ones or to use around the house. Let's get started, bismillah. Our kits include mixing tools, sealant, mosaic tiles, the wooden base and a small sponge. Please remember that this activity is not suitable for very small children or for anyone that has a tendency to put things in their mouths. We are working with real tile pieces here, so just please remember this. Our first step is to plan the design before we stick anything down. To do this, we're going to trace the shape of the coaster onto a piece of paper. Lay out the tiles on the paper in your preferred pattern. Using craft glue, stick the tiles onto the base of the coaster and let that dry. Empty the sealing powder into a mixing bowl and mix with 2 to 3 teaspoons of water. Add the water a little at a time, so add it a teaspoon at a time. You really don't want this to be too runny at all. The consistency we're after is like a thick toothpaste. Actually, the consistency of mine in this video could be a bit thicker, so just add the water slowly because you don't want it to be too runny. Use the sealing mixture to fill in all the gaps between your mosaic tiles. Be generous, don't be scared if you go over any edges because we will be able to wipe them clean at the end. Just fill all the gaps as best as you can. While we're making these, maybe we can have a chat about how mosaic tile art is so popular in the Islamic world. When we look at our masjids or our sacred spaces, many times tiles are used to decorate these spaces and buildings, especially because they're vibrant, they're colourful, they're strong and they're easy to clean. In our Islamic tradition, our art doesn't usually depict living creatures like animals or people or statues, especially not in the masjid. And so tiles are a great way to create some fantastic geometric patterns. Many times we see that they're used to form ayahs from the Quran. Sometimes the Islamic patterns can depict so much on a spiritual level. For example, the infinite nature of Allah, the vastness of the universe, about unity in difference, and so much more. Okay, back to the tutorial. You want to scrape off as much as you can off the top, but don't worry too much if there's a thin layer because you can use a wet sponge to take the thin layer off. Be careful not to remove any grout from in between the actual tiles. Leave your coaster to dry, and then using the sponge you can remove any of the grout that's left on top of the tiles and just polish it off. Once it's fully dry, it's ready to use or to gift to a loved one.